guys, we need help to digest the fat. So what happens now is the fat is going to get whacked with what? Somebody said it? Not acid. Acid don't do.
Enzymes?
Bile salts. Bile salt. Bile, guys. Okay? Now, bile is made where? No, it's made in the liver. It's stored in the gallbladder. Okay? Now, what happens here, guys, salt, bile is a salt. Salt and water get along how? Great. They love each other, right? Have sex all the time. Salt and water. Okay? Now, fat, which is actually what? Oil. They also love salt. So bile salt, guys, he is the in-between guy, okay, that loves water and loves the fat. And that is what allows us to break apart the little droplets of the fat. It emulsifies it so that we can now get it into our system and use it for an energy source. Now, guys, if you don't have enough bile, and you have a high fat diet, what's going to happen? It's going to go right through to your stools. You're going to see shit floating in there. Okay? Now, a couple of years ago, guys, they came up with these things that you could buy over the TV, and it would inhibit the uptake of fat. So you can eat everything, okay? And the fat will just go right through. They don't tell you, don't look in your bowl, okay? But if you look in your bowl, you're going to find what in there? You're going to find lumps and chunks of this white crap that's coming out of your butt, okay? And you got to watch when you have to pass gas, right? Because you're going to do a shart instead of a fart, right? So, guys, that will bypass that whole mechanism. It's not a healthy thing to do, okay? So the stomach, guys, it's going to be acidic. It's going to break down our protein. Okay? Now, structures, guys, that you will need here is the esophagus. Okay? After that, guys, there is a sphincter right here. Does anyone know what a sphincter is? No? What is a sphincter? Yes, it's a muscle, guys, that is circular. It's like a ring, and they make really good valves. Okay? So, guys, up here, it has two names. Yep, the esophageal sphincter, also known as the cardiosphincter. Okay? A cardiosphincter. And the reason for that, guys, is because this area right here is called the cardia of the stomach, okay? Near the heart, okay? So, guys, what we want to do is we want to swallow our food source, get it into the stomach, and we don't want it ever going back because it's mixed with what? Acid, okay? And the esophagus, guys, isn't equipped to handle an acidic environment, okay? Your stomach is. Now, guys, your stomach don't produce acid 24/7, okay? Your stomach gets turned on and turned off, okay? So, guys, when we're not thinking of food, seeing food, getting stimulated by something being in your oral cavity, okay, your stomach is not producing hydrochloric acid, okay? It must be stimulated, and then those cells secrete the acid, all right? Now, guys, the hydrochloric acid in the stomach is so corrosive. On the pH scale, it is so strong, it is #1, okay? That's some strong-ass acid, guys. That acid is strong enough to digest right out of your body. It will digest right out the side of your body, okay? Now, what protects that from happening is your stomach also has cells that produce mucus, okay? And your stomach is totally wallpapered with this mucus layer. And that mucus layer, guys, is the only thing that protects the stomach acid from digesting itself. Okay? So you got a lot of mucus, guys. The acid's breaking down the mucus is being made constantly, okay? If by chance there is not enough mucus on a section of the wall, guys, and the acid goes there and hits it, it's going to start to digest that area. What do we call that problem?
Ulcer.
That's your ulcer, okay? Now guys, if it's not corrected and the acid's going in deeper and deeper and it gets through those endothelial cells, and now, bam, you finally hit into the blood vessels. Now your ulcer is known as a what? Bleeding ulcer. Okay? Bleeding ulcer. Now, what's the signs of a bleeding ulcer? It's going to be the same as a regular ulcer. You're going to have pain, but now you have signs of what?
Blood in the stool.
Blood. So you're either going to have blood in the stool, or you're going to, if you upchuck, you're going to have blood coming out your mouth. Okay? Now, guys, if you upchuck, the color of blood's going to be what?
Bright red.
Red. If you allow it to go through the digestive process, the color of blood becomes
dark
black. Okay? And they call that tarry stool. Okay? Now, if you're taking a shit, guys, and you wipe yourself and it's bright red blood, don't be too alarmed. It's probably just a hemorrhoid. Okay? Not going to die from a hemorrhoid. If you wipe or you look at your stool and it's black, okay, that's when you worry. Okay? Because that means something's leaking and it's up higher in the digestive tract. It's not right by your anus where it's nice and bright. Okay? That's when you worry. Okay? Yeah, unless you take an iron, because that will change the color. Okay? Okay. Now, esophagus, esophageal sphincter, guys. Cardia region, that's the region. It's not a structure, guys. It's just cardia region, okay, near the heart. Now, over here, guys, we're going to have this big bump right here. That is called the fundus of the stomach. Fundus of the stomach. Okay? And the reason why I want you to write fundus of the stomach is because you'll see other funduses on other organs. So once again, guys, don't just put down fundus. You'll get a partial credit for that. Fundus of the stomach. Okay? Now, next thing we're going to look at, guys, the stomach's really cool. Because the stomach, guys, works like a washing machine. Okay? What happens, guys, food comes in here, you have water and acid in here, the food gets dropped in, just like you putting your clothes into your washing machine. This guy churns. He churns. Okay? What does that mean, guys? He's freaking twisting and turning, and he's taking your food in there and mixing it up really good with the acid and the water. Okay? He churns. Now, the reason why is because the way his muscular walls are. Okay? Very similar to the heart, guys. We're going to have our first outermost layer of smooth muscle, and that is the longitudinal muscle layer. So guys, these muscles go along the long or the length of the organ. Okay? Longitudinal layer. Okay? Yes, dear?
That's the outermost?
Yes, that's the outermost one. Okay? The second layer in, guys, is going to be the circular layer. Okay? And those smooth muscle fibers are just going to be circling around the organ. And then finally, guys, we get to the inner muscular layer. and that is called the oblique layer, and those muscle fibers run obliquely around the stomach, okay? Now, those three different directions for these smooth muscles allow the organ, guys, to churn, okay? Allows it to churn, agitate, okay? Just like your washing machine, okay? Now, guys, if you look at the organ, you'll notice that there is a curve in here and a larger curve here, okay? These curves, guys, are called the lesser curvature and the greater curvature, okay? Of the stomach. Yes, please. Okay? Larger curvature and lesser curvature of the stomach. Okay? Now, down here, guys, the stomach actually gets shaped like a funnel. Okay? It's tapered down. The reason why it's funnel shaped, guys, is it wants to take your food source and direct it out of the organ. Okay? So this funnel shape, guys, this is called the pyloric or pylorus of the stomach. Okay? That is the pylorus of the stomach. At the end of that funnel, guys, we will have a sphincter here called the pyloric sphincter. Okay? So guys, once food gets in there, the esophageal sphincter closes off. The food's now trapped inside that organ, okay, where it's going to get churned around and beat up and mixed up and falling apart, guys. And now it kind of resembles like toothpaste when it comes out, okay? Now, the stomach, guys, is going to be able to change size and shape depending on the volume of food you eat, okay? So it's able to expand. And what allows it to expand, guys, if you look at the inner layer, you'll notice these wrinkles in here, okay? Those wrinkles are called rugae, okay? And once again, guys, you want to add stomach rugae to that because there's rugae in other organs, okay? Now the rugae allows the organ to expand, okay? Guys, it's like going up to somebody with a lot of wrinkles on their face and just pulling out their wrinkles and the skin expands, okay? Once you let go, it goes back to the way it was before, and that's what the stomach does too. So on a full stomach, guys, these rugae disappear because they're all stretched out. Empty stomach, they start coming back, okay? Those are the rugae. Okay, pyloric sphincter, guys, right down in here. Okay, everybody go with that? Okay, next organ we're going to look at, guys. Right here, guys, this is what the stomach's hooked into. All of this worminess here, guys, all of this worminess is small intestine. Small intestine. Okay? Now, I hate that they call this system the digestive system, because digestion means to break down. That's what digestion means. Break down. Okay? Our digestive system, guys, not only breaks things down, but then it builds things up again. Okay? Now, in between the breaking down and the building up, we want to absorb stuff. Okay? Now, guys, the small intestines is where absorption takes place. So from your mouth to the end of your stomach, the only process that was going on, guys, was we were just digestion, which means breaking things down. We're prepping the food source for absorption now. Okay? Now, first part of the small intestines, guys. Small intestines, let me tell you a little bit about them. In diameter, they're smaller than the large intestine. Inside, they're thicker than the large intestine. Okay? And they're much longer than the large intestine. Okay? Now, what does the small intestine do? It's going to absorb our nutrients. Okay? So everything we need, guys, gets absorbed in the small intestine. Okay? Now, first part of the small intestines, guys, about 10 inches long. He's connected right to your stomach. It is this blue thing called the duodenum. Okay? Now, guys, the duodenum is known as the mixing bowl of the digestive tract, or the GI tract. Okay? The duodenum is known as the mixing bowl of the GI tract, or the digestive system. Now, why is he called the mixing bowl? Guys, he's hooked up with the stomach. Okay? The stomach is going to contain our food source that was just bathed in what? In water and acid. Okay? So guys, when the stomach releases that food source into the duodenum, it's very what? Acidic. So the first thing we want to do is knock down the acid. Okay? Now, how is it going to happen, guys? Our duodenum is hooked up with the pancreas. Okay? Now remember, guys, pancreas, endocrine, and an exocrine gland. Okay? His exocrine function, guys, is going to produce an alkaline solution that's going to knock down the what? The acid. It's going to help neutralize that. Okay? Now.
That where they digest fat now with the lipase?
Yep. Now, also, guys, what we release from the stomach, remember, what did the stomach try to break down? Proteins. Now, if any protein remained behind, guys, that did not get broken down, okay, when it goes into the duodenum, it has another chance because our pancreas is going to secrete an enzyme that breaks down proteins. Okay? All right? So now we have a last-ditch effort to break down any protein that was able to get through the stomach. Okay? Now, remember, guys, in the duodenum, we're also going to have our fat because so far the GI tract cannot do anything to the fat molecules. Okay? So it gets dumped into the duodenum, and the duodenum is also hooked up to the gallbladder. Okay? Now, gallbladder is going to release what?
Bile.
Good old bile. Okay? Now, bile's going to knock down the fat, guys, and guess who else helps him? The pancreas. Yep. The pancreas, again, guys, has an enzyme that's going to help emulsify the fat. Okay? So that damn pancreas, he's pretty freaking important, right? He's dealing with blood levels of glucose. He's dealing with tissue levels of glucose. He's dealing with fat digestion. He's dealing with protein digestion. Okay? That's why, guys, no pancreas, no what?
Life.
No life. Okay? Can't survive too long without it. Yes, sir.
Also break down like
What, the nucleic acids? I don't know about that. I would imagine, yeah, I would imagine it could break it down. Yep. Makes enough enzymes there. Okay. So guys, duodenum. Once again, what we're doing there, we gotta watch the acid. So the duodenum, guys, since he's receiving an acidic environment, of course he's going to produce what? What did the stomach produce? No, not
Stomach produced acid.
Yeah, but what else did it produce? Mucus. Mucus, right? So he's going to have cells in there, guys, to line him with some mucus. It's not like the stomach, though. Okay? He needs help. You got to knock down that the acidity in that solution. Okay? Now, here's the mixing bowl. Okay? Next one we go to, guys, this purple thing looking here, that is our duodenum. Okay? Guys, that is where like 95% of your uptake or absorption of material takes place. Okay? So the duodenum, guys, that is where the majority of absorption of material, nutrients, okay, our vitamins, things like that are taking place. Okay? Now, after the duodenum, guys, we go into the last section called the ileum. Okay? The ileum, guys, once again, what's he doing? He's picking up the stuff that the duodenum missed. Okay? He's cleaning up that other 5% that the duodenum missed. All the time, guys, from the duodenum down, guess what we're adding?
Water.
More water. Okay? So guys, now our food went from looking like toothpaste to looking like diarrhea. It's all what? It's all watery. Okay? Our molecules are really far apart. Okay? It's broken down. It's all kind of like a liquidy mess in here. Okay? So the ileum, guys, pulling up the last little bits that were missed by the duodenum. Okay? Yes, sir.
The question is,
Yeah.
how do you know the difference between, I mean, I know it's in the location, but what separates the duodenum from the jejunum from the ileum?
Nothing.
They're all the same.
Yeah, but if you dissect, like if you go to human dissection and you open it up, you'll see the mucus glands are more numerous here, okay, than in here. And as you go through it, it changes its inner border. So the end of the ileum looks a lot different than the end of the duodenum, even though it's all one continuous thing.
So how would you know, let's say, the jejunum from the ileum? What's
Microscopically,
it's only microscopic.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do like they just look.
No, on the outside, no. You won't
Okay.
be able to tell the difference. You know, you stretch it out, be like, 18 feet long, you couldn't tell the difference. Okay? Unless you go internal. Okay? So, once again, guys, we're just adding more water, more water, more water, more water. Okay? Now, the ileum, guys, is going to hook up with the large intestines. Large intestines, guys, starts right here. It's in the lower quadrant of your abdomen, lower right quadrant of the abdomen. Starts the large intestines. Now, another name for the large intestines, guys, is called the colon. Okay? Now, this section right here, guys, you see this round section right here? Okay? These round blowouts that you see here, these shapes, these little round things, those are called hostra. Okay? Hostra, guys, are the name of those round, bally looking shapes or indents that you see on the large intestine. Okay? Now, down here, guys, we're looking at this first round structure right here, okay? That is called the cecum, okay? That is the cecum of the large intestines, right here, okay?
What?
Called the cecum, okay? Now, guys, the ileum, what's that?
What's the cecum?
This section right here. First part, this is the start of the large intestine, right here. Okay? So this is the cecum, guys, right here. All right? Now, your ileum, small intestine, hooks directly into the cecum there. And there is a valve in there, guys, called the ileocecal valve. Just gonna have it. Right here. Guys, this section here is the cecum of the large intestine. Here's the ileocecal valve. It's another sphincter. Okay? Now he opens up, allows the food source to come in there. Now guys, by the time we're at the end of the ileum, there's not a lot of stuff left in that food source. Okay? It's all liquidy, diarrhea. Okay? We might have some vitamins in there that the that the small intestines missed. Okay? We also might have some bile salt in there from being mixed into the equation. Now what's going to happen, guys, the ileum's going to dump its fluid in here into the cecum, and now we go through the large intestines. Okay? Large intestines, guys, here it is. Right here, guys, at the cecum, you will have a worm-like structure called the appendix. Okay? That worm-like structure, guys, is actually part of the large intestine, and he's actually hollow, guys. He has a channel going through him. Okay? Now, what happens sometimes, guys, remember, by the time we're here, our food source is basically diarrhea. It's all watery with clumps of shit in there and stuff. What's going to happen, guys, that stuff freely moves in and out of the appendix. Okay? Sometimes stuff will go in there and it can't come out. And then it causes a what? An infection, and you get appendicitis. Okay? Now guys, what I want you to know about the characteristics of the large intestine is that they picture frame, just like a picture frame, the small intestines. Okay? So they're going to be on the outside of the small intestines. And also, guys, the colon is very, very, very thin walled. Anybody ever put a vinyl glove on? That's what it's like. They're really, really super thin. Okay? Especially compared to the small intestines. All right? Now, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go up the colon. Okay? So this is called, there goes my estrogen levels. This is called the ascendant colon. Okay? Ascendant colon, guys, is on your right side. It is going upward. Okay? Ascending. Then, guys, the ascendant colon is going to make a really, really sharp bend. Okay? Which they call a flexure. And this flexure, guys, is right near the liver, so that is your hepatic flexure. Right here, guys, that bend is the hepatic flexure. Now, once we make the bend, the colon now turns and goes across the body, guys, so it's going to transverse the body. That's called the transverse colon. Okay? Here's the transverse colon, guys. It goes from your right side to your left. Okay? And on the left side, guys, we're going to make one of those sharp bends again, but this time we're near the spleen, so that's called the splenic flexure. Okay? Now, from the splenic flexure, guys, we come down. We are going into the descending colon. And then, guys, I want you to look over here. You can see that it makes an S shape. Okay? That is called the sigmoid colon. Okay? Now this S shape, guys, is going to run from being more anterior to posterior when you're done with it. Okay? Now, at the end of the sigmoid colon, guys, you're going to have the rectum. Okay?
Straight.
Now, the function, guys, the main function of the large intestines is going to be reabsorption of all that water we pushed into the food source. We want it back because we're mostly water. So it reabsorbs the water, and by reabsorbing the water, guys, what happens to the food source that's left behind? It consolidates, it coagulates, and we create our stool. So guys, digestion goes from breaking down, absorption, to synthesis reaction, right? Decomposition, absorption, and then to synthesize or build something. Catabolic, anabolic, okay? So, guys, through the entire process, we're pulling in water, okay? We're pulling in bile salts, okay? Body doesn't want to remake it, guys, if we can reuse it, okay? Very big on recycling, okay? And then finally, guys, the large intestines is a good place where the body actually makes its own vitamins, okay? Anybody know what vitamins made in the large intestine?
Potassium.
Yep, potassium's made there, okay?
Potassium's a mineral,
Vitamin K, guys.
Vitamin K.
Vitamin K, okay? Is made in the large intestine, okay? Okay, now, next thing that you need to look at, guys, is on here, you will notice that there are strand-like muscles. Let me talk the whole thing again. There are strand-like muscles, guys. They look like tape. Okay? Those muscles, guys, are on both sides of the colon. And what they do is when those long muscles contract, that helps push the food source by making the intestines shorter, okay, in length. And these muscles, guys, are called the tinea coli. Okay, let me see if I can find them. There's tinea coli, right here, guys. Okay, that's those long muscle bands that go through the organ. Let me see if I have a close-up of it. Is it here? I don't see the name here.
Those are small muscles?
They're smooth muscles, yeah. Okay? Here's how you spell it, guys. Tinea coli. These are two bands, guys. They look like tape.